Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I just posted a video with some news that the Russians are retreating from Kherson areas. They retreat on the left bank of the Dnieper River. They say it's a strategic move and all that. I made that video, go and check it out. It's unbelievable, and you should find the reasons why they claim they retreated, together with about 115,000 civilians across the river, and they justify it based on something that is so flimsy I can't tell you. But anyway, we have here Mr. Kadyrov, and he's a very important person. He's a general. I don't know if he's a lieutenant general or something like that. Kadyrov is the Chechen fearless leader, and he was informed about this move. And what do you think he said about it? Do you think he's happy about it, or do you think he's okay with that? Let's see, A or B. You got 50%, or he doesn't care. Let's go to 33% chances here, 1 in 3. So this article comes from Sputnik. It is from today, the 9th of November 2022. Chechen head Kadyrov supports decision to relocate Russian forces from parts of Kherson. So that's called relocation. Relocation. They go back, they conquer that area, and then they go back across the river on the other side, and it's okay, it's just a relocation. It's like you go and you move from this neighborhood to the other neighborhood. It's not like it's a war and you lose ground. Nah. Just relocation, different zip code. Chechen leader Ramzan Kadyrov has praised Sergei Surovikin, the Russian army general appointed commander of all Russian forces in Ukraine, for his decision to withdraw Russian forces from parts of Kherson. Why would you praise that? Because you're afraid some missile's gonna drop on your head? And I'm quoting, "After weighing all the pros and cons, General Surovikin made a difficult but right choice between senseless sacrifices," that means you're losing, for the sake of loud statements and priceless lives of soldiers, Kadyrov wrote on his Telegram channel. "The fact that Kherson is a difficult combat territory was known to everyone. From the very first days of the special operation, the soldiers of my units also reported that it was very difficult to fight in this area. Yes, it's possible to hold it, to arrange supplies of some ammunition, but the price will be numerous human lives, and such a forecast does not suit us. Therefore, I think that Surovikin acted like a real military general who is not afraid of criticism. He is in charge of people. He knows better." End quote. I don't know what happened with Mr. Kadyrov. What do you think? It sounds like a weasel answer to me. Remember last time when they retreated and they left the northern part over there of the front, and they were crying? What did he say? He said that the generals should be taken and sent to the front, without boots on, and fight the war and pay with their blood. And now he's like, yeah, I think the general is doing a fantastic job. He knows best, and he did a great, difficult but great decision. Well, first, why do you have to do this? It's not because you're winning, is it? No, it's because you're losing. Otherwise, you wouldn't go over there. Do you want that part of Ukraine, if you want to call it this way, or you don't want it? If you want it, well, you leave it behind. That means it's not good, right? Well, if you don't want it, why did you invade it in the first place? So either way, it doesn't work. This is the reality. You are pushed back. And for you to hold on to that part is probably difficult, and you lose a lot of weapons and personnel, and you say, well, it's useless since we can't continue the offensive that way. So let's go back here and hold the front by the Dnieper River. Now, there's another justification that I don't buy, and I said I will not give you that justification. You find it in the other video, but I'm just telling you it's stupid. Why? It's not impossible, but it doesn't make sense, because remember, a river has at least two banks, okay? So why they say at least? Because sometimes it ramifies and all that. So in this case, there's two banks, right? Left and right. So if you go from one side to another because you're afraid of a cataclysm, then it doesn't make sense, because the cataclysm will get you on the right side, right bank, and on the left bank in the same, or the other way around, both ways, in the same way. So the reality is they are losing over there. On top of that, there are 115,000 refugees, civilians who relocate. Those are relocating. They go across the river with the Russian troops. Can you imagine what it is? It's the same thing as the relocation of Ukrainians going to wherever they go, to Berlin or something. Well, it's a tragedy, as I said, and I'm upset because this tragedy could have been avoided then. Too late now, obviously, but it also could be stopped on both sides, because after all, these guys are brothers, cousins, brothers, however you want to call them, and the other guys are not their helpers or supporters. They just look for their own interest, and it happens that you guys are the ones that they use at this point in time, and when you're all done, they will move on to the next one and use the next one and the next one and the next one. It's not, it's not hard to see what's going on over here. And it's okay if you have this kind of decision made by your leaders, that's fine, I guess. But what's going on with the Russians? Are they losing? I think so, at least on that particular front. And how can you move with 115, according to the Russians? The article I got from Sputnik as well. So if it's 115, could be probably more than that. Even though 115 is a great number. They didn't mention how many, what was the amount or of the troops, the Russian troops that retreated. That would be interesting to find out. Why? Because sometimes, as you said, well, it's better to save lives instead of just making big statements. Anyway, this is it. We'll see what's next. It's going to be now the Ukrainians' task to push the Russians back by crossing the river, which is a hard task to do, especially when the Ukrainians blew up the bridges, all of them. Now they're going to use what? Canoes? Probably. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.